homogeneity of sight, sound, taste, or even mind. A journey into a wondrous land whose boundaries are that of imagination. There's a signpost up ahead. Next stop, Jake Stief. Hi, I'm Jake Stief, and today I'm going to review the book Thinner by Stephen King or Richard Bachman. They are the same people. If you have read King before, you would know that this book falls short of his standard book size by about 300 pages. But longer isn't always better. For instance, I would have never finished this book if it was 600 pages. If it was a short story, though, it would have ended leaving you with an empty feeling. Some say they don't want to read this book because the synopsis on the back of this book sounds like a prolonged short story. I disagree, though. It was a great book, and it has a lot of the subplot which King likes to add in a lot of his books. I rated it a 5 out of 5. As goes for all of my book reviews, I must reveal some of the plot in order to convince you to read or to not read a book. I only give away the bare minimum, though, so continue at your own cost. So the main character of the book is Billie Halleck, and he accidentally runs over Gypsy's daughter while his wife is... Well, I'll let you find that out. It's quite funny. After going to court, the Gypsy puts a curse on Billie by rubbing a shriveled finger along Billie's chubby face and whispering the word thinner to him. Since then, Billie, who is obese as it is, begins to lose weight each day. Once Billie finds out that it was the Gypsy that cursed him, he tries to trace him all the way along the eastern seaboard. The rest is really for you to find out. But as I said, there's a lot of subplots, such as Billie's daughter who gets involved, researchers that are trying to find him, his wife who thinks he's crazy, and all that good stuff. The horror part of King doesn't really come out until the last third of the book, so I wouldn't rate it as a horror, more so a thriller or a very subtle mystery. One thing that I didn't really like is that the Gypsy was portrayed as the antagonist. He was just a father looking for revenge for his daughter. I honestly don't see anything wrong with what he did in the book. On the flip side, Billie is portrayed as the antagonist, but he wasn't just cursed for some random reason. He killed the man's daughter, so he should pay. This ending was actually one of King's better endings. If you ask me, I'd say most of his Richard Bachman books have better endings than the King books. But there are some King books that have real good endings. Like The Stand, I really enjoyed that one. But, anywho, they just seem to be laid out better and have endings that leave you hanging. In Thinner, the ending is a twist and almost makes this whole story completely irrelevant, but if it wasn't, that wouldn't be King now, would it? Need I tell you about detail? Come on, this is King we're talking about. Perfect amount of detail, just a little bit more on the gruesome parts, just the way I like it. Now I'm going to read a short passage from this book to try to convince you to read this great piece of literature. Chapter 1, 246. The old gypsy man with the rotting nose whispers to William Halleck as Halleck and his wife, Heidi, come out of the courthouse. Just that one word, sent on wafting, cloying sweetness of his breath. And before Halleck can jerk away, the old gypsy reaches out and caresses his cheek with one twisted finger. His lips spread open like a wound, showing a few tombstone stumps poking out of his gums. They are black and green. His tongue squirms between them and then slides out to slick his grinning bitter lips. This memory came back to Billie Halleck fittingly enough as he stood on the scales at 7 in the morning with a towel wrapped around his middle. Then good smells of bacon and eggs come up from downstairs. He had to crane forward slightly to read the number on the scale. Well, actually, he had to crane forward more than slightly. Actually, he had to crane forward quite a lot. He was a big man. Too big, as Dr. Houston delighted in telling him. In case no one ever told you, let me pass you the information. Houston had told him after his last checkup. A man of your age, income, and habits enters heart attack country at roughly age 38, Billy. You ought to take off some weight. Billy, this morning there was good news. He sat down 3 pounds from 249 to 246. Well, the scale had actually read 251 the last time he had the courage to stand on it and take a good look. But he'd had his pants on, and there had been some change in his pockets. Not to mention his keyring and a Swiss Army knife. The upstairs bathroom scale weighed heavy, and he was morally sure of it. Chapter 1, 246. The old gypsy man with the rotting nose. I gotta redo that. Thank you for watching an LZ production. Oh god, he licked it.